Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video I will share with you how to sew the 6-piece skirt. I already have the cutting tutorial on my channel. You can check it out after watching this video. And if you've not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe and join the family. Let's get started. This is what the front and the back 6-piece skirt looks like after cutting. So the first thing I'll do is to trace out the lining for the center back and center front, and also trace out the 4 pieces for the side. You just cut the same shape as the center front, center back, and the 4 pieces for the sides. After I have cut out my lining, I'll come back to that later. The next thing I'll do now is to stitch my front pieces together. So I'm going to place the center front and the side front together this way. Then I'll turn this side front on the center front with the right side facing right side. After I have placed it this way, I'll pin it down to make sure that the waist align, the hip and the knee aligned, so that when after I join, I will have the perfect joining. So once I'm done pinning, I'll open it up for you to see now. After I have pinned this side, I'll pin the other side down also and go to the sewing machine and stitch it. You can see while I'm pinning down, I make sure that they align. If you notice, I notch it so that I will know where it's facing the center front. So I'll make sure the notch align with the notch at the new side, so that when I am done joining, I will not have to lose again. Once I'm done with that, I will go to the sewing machine and stitch from the waist down to the full skirt length. After I'm done joining, this is what it looks like. The next thing I'll do now is to work on the back. If you notice, the center back is open because I added 2 inches for zipper allowance. And if you are confused on how I achieved this, you can watch the full cutting tutorial on my channel, and I'll leave the link in the description box. The next thing I'll do now is to place the side on this center back on each piece with the right side facing right side, and I'll make sure that the notch align while I am pinning down. I'll also do the same thing for the other side. I'll place it right side facing right side, and I'll make sure that the notch align while I pin it down. After I'm done pinning the sides, I'll go to the sewing machine and join them together. And after joining, this is what it looks like. Then I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the lining. I'll join both the front and the back just the way I did for the Ankara fabric. I'll place the lining on the Ankara fabric right side facing right side. This thing I'm doing now, I'm going to be doing it for both the front and the back. After I've properly placed the lining on the Ankara fabric right side facing right side, then I'll come up by 1 inch from the full length this way, just the way I'm doing it now. I'll come up 1 inch, and I'll mark it all the way to the other side of. Once I'm done with that, I'll cut out this 1 inch out of this lining. Once I am done cutting out, I'll drag this lining down to this Ankara fabric, then I will stitch it down by 0.5 inch all the way through. When I am done stitching, this is what it looks like. As you can see at the waist, the lining is shorter now. What I'll do now is I will drag the lining up to the Ankara fabric. After dragging the lining up, I'll give it a good press at the down. Then after I give it a good press, I will stitch each side of the fabric. I am done stitching the sides. I did the same thing for both the front and the back. So this is the front. I will flip it over and turn it out so that you will see what it looks like after I have pressed it. This is the 2 sides for the back. As you can see, it's looking neat and is fully lined. This is also the front. After you've pressed and you turn, this is what you will have. So the next thing I'll do now is to join the 2 back pieces together. I will place them on each other, right side facing right side. If you've watched the cutting tutorial, if you remember, I took out 2 inches for zipper allowance. So now I used 0.5 inch to join this side. So it will be remaining 1.5 inch for the zipper allowance. So now what I'll do now, I will mark that 1.5 inch from the full skirt length. Before I mark out the 1.5 inch, I'll use pin to hold these 2 pieces together to make sure that they are properly placed and intact. Then after I've pinned it down, I'll now take my 1.5 inch. Just for the sake of reminder, if you remember, I took out 2 inches for allowance and I used 0.5 inch to join the lining to the Ankara fabric. So now it's remaining 1.5 inch. That is why I'm taking 1.5 inch. So I'll connect this 1.5 inch that I mark out. Now I'm going to stitch down. After you pin, before you go to the sewing machine, you can open it up this way to see what it looks like before you stitch. After joining, this is what it looks like. I opened it up and give it a good press so that it will be flat. So the next thing I'll do now is to open it up very well. This is the back, and I'll place the front on the back now with right side facing right side this way. After placing them on each other this way, the next thing I'll do, I'll pin it down. I'll pin it down from the full skirt length up to the waist. While I'm trying to pin it down, I'll make sure that the full length aligned, the knee aligned, the hip and the waist, just to make sure that after joining I won't have to lose again. Once I'm done with that, I'll mark out 1 inch. I added 2 inches for sewing allowance while I was cutting. Now I use 0.5 inch to join the lining at the side, so that means I have 1.5 inch left for sewing. So I'll use 1 inch to join and I'll leave 0.5 inch for ease. So guys, I am done joining and this is what it looks like. This is the inside part, the side with the lining, and this is the back part. So I will turn it out now for you to see. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's looking beautiful. First thing I'll do now is for me to insert the zipper and waistband. Before I insert the zipper and the waistband, the first thing I'll do is to trim the waistline. I'll make sure they are equal at the waist so that I won't have any unequal edges. Once I'm done with that, I'll contour the front waistline. I'll place the waistline this way, then I'll come down by 1 inch. After I come down by 1 inch, then I'll connect that 1 inch to the waist. I'll just cut it out. I am doing this in order to eliminate any baggy effect and also to have a flat front waistline. Once I am done with that, I will measure the round waistline. In order for me to get my band, to know this measurement I'll use for my band, I'll measure the round waist while my zipper allowance is still joined together. Then I'll use that measurement to cut my band, and I'll add at least extra 5 inches to the band so that it's better your band is too long than is too short. So I've gone ahead to cut the waistband, and this is what it looks like. I cut it 5 inches wide. That is on fold, it is 2.5 inches. So I'm going to use that 0.5 to stitch it while the band will be 2 inches wide on fold. And if you notice, I use an interfacing. I used paper gum to give this fabric a little bit of weight. So the next thing I'll do now is to go ahead and attach my zipper. After I attach my zipper, I'll now place this band at the waistline this way. I'll place it and stitch it down by 0.5 inch all around. As you can see, I have attached the zipper and also the waistband, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert the elastic band. So I'm going to measure the distance between the front dart and the back dart. I'll place the tape from this back dart and I'll take it all the way to the front dart to see the distance, and I measured it was 8 inches. So I'm going to divide this 8 inches by 2. I'll divide the 8 inches by 2, which will give me 4 inches. Then I'll add 1/4 of an inch on each side. That will give me 4.5 inches. So I'm going to mark a band of 4.5 inches in 2 places. After I cut the elastic, I'll tack the elastic on the band close to that line. I'll make sure it's exactly that line area. As you can see, I've tacked the elastic on the waistband and I tacked it with 1/4 of an inch. So the next thing I'll do now is to stitch the waistband. After joining my waistband, I noticed that the waistband is long, so I'm going to cut it out and leave like 2 inches on one side and 1 inch on the other side. Then I'll close it up. In order for me to close it up, I'll open the waistband this way, and I will make sure that side I iron that divided the waistband into 2, I will fold it and stitch it down. So after I've closed it, I will turn it this way and I'll use my scissors to bring out the tip. I'll also go ahead and do the other side also. Once I'm done with that, this is what it will look like. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to top stitch this waistband. I'm going to fold in by 0.5 inch and stitch all through. When you get to the elastic area, you make sure that you don't stitch the elastic, you just drag it and you stitch by the side on your fabric and not on the elastic. So this is what it looks like after I closed it up. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to top stitch on this elastic to keep it in place, and I'll do the same thing for the other side. And I'm done with the waistband, and this is what it looks like. This is the final look of our skirt. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more. See you in my next video.